Alright guys, it is time to do some maintenance on the pressure washer. It is the middle of April and I'm going to go ahead and show you what I do on the pressure washer for maintenance. It's almost laughable. There's just a couple things that I do. Number one, I'm going to change the oil, and I want to show you guys that the oil, I don't know if the camera is going to pick this up, but that's 2 years old and it's still almost clear. The oil that I'm going to be using is, and that I use in everything, is AMSOIL, and I'm going to be using the 4-stroke. I'm trying to keep the sun out of this. I'm going to be using the 4-stroke small engine oil. It's the 30 weight, and this only uses about 20 ounces of it. So there's several ways to do this. I recommend that you keep warm the engine up first. There is an oil fill here, and there's no non-messy way to do this. I'm just going to take the cap off, and then I'm going to tilt it over into that bucket and dump it out. Very easy, but a little messy at times. It's a lot easier than doing your car oil, a lot faster. Now it's very important to not neglect your small engines. These are air-cooled engines. They work really hard, and you need to change the oil once a year. And use a really good high-quality oil. I've been using the AMSOIL products for probably 20 years, and this Jetta behind me, had it since it was new. It's 20 years old. The inside of the engine still looks brand new, and I do 35,000 mile drain interval changes. So I'm just going to let this drip just for a minute, and that's probably good enough. Okay, with these air-cooled Briggs & Strattons, when you move them around, they will start to give a little bit more oil. But there's, if you want to put some tin foil under there, you can, as a little deflector. Not that big a deal. That is also why I'm using the cardboard here. So I'm going to go ahead and lift this back up, and I will wipe this down. I'll dispose of the old oil, and I'll be back to show you how I'm going to fill this up with our AMSOIL. Alright, the next step is, you could fill the oil back up to where we drained it out, but this pressure washer on this engine has an optional dipstick. So what I'm going to be doing is just going to be pulling this out, wiping that off, and I don't have a measuring cup handy, so I'm just going to use my AMSOIL 2-stroke little bottle here and fill it up that way. You can use a measuring cup, whatever you want to use. Just get the right amount of oil in there. That's the bottom line. Okay, that right there is about 7 ounces. And I'm just going to do this until I get the prescribed 20 ounces in. Alright, so I put the prescribed amount of oil in. I've checked it on our dipstick. Next, we want to turn our attention to the air filter. On this model, the air filter is right here. Just going to remove the wing nut, lift the cover up, and this uses a automotive cartridge type filter. This one is really clean, and what I would do is, if it needs to be replaced, go ahead and do that, and take your paper towel and wipe out any debris that's found its way in here. And also lift this cover up, and it's probably going to be dirty in here, so wipe out any dirt and debris that's in there. Now, once you've done that, and or replace the element, you can replace the element back. Make sure it seals in the groove, and also make sure the cover fits into the groove. Now, if you're going to do the spark plug on this model, you would need to leave this out so that we have access to the plug, which is right here, which we'll do next. Alright, I went ahead and removed the spark plug, and I want to show you what a spark plug looks like when it's burning properly. Hopefully the camera's picking this up. The insulator, not the electrode, but the insulator is a nice tan color. There's no soot, there's no oil. This is a good plug, and I'm going to put it right back in. This plug is a little difficult to get to because of this cage right here, but sometimes you can take a piece of vacuum hose or fuel hose and put it on the tip just to have something for your plug to grab onto as you try to thread it. Just remember, do not cross thread this. Alright, after we get the spark plug back in, if you have a fuel filter on your model, which is right there, and you need to replace that, you can do so at that time. That is part of the maintenance. I'm going to go ahead and replace the air cleaner since it's out of our way now. We don't need it. I just did that for the spark plug. If you do these simple steps, then, especially if it's a Briggs & Stratton engine, these things will last pretty much forever. Keep the oil change and the air filter and fuel filter, and you will have almost zero problem out of this. Now, you guys probably have seen that I crank this by hand. It's a Recoil Starter. And let me move this back over here. But most people probably, well, you probably don't care, but this is electric start. Now, I've never used it because the battery's dead. It's got a battery under here, and there's a push button right there. So, here's what we're going to do. See, there's the starter motor. If you guys want me to fix that and want me to start using this with the electric start instead of with the Recoil Starter, then put a comment down below, and whatever we get the most of, I'll do. If you guys want to see that, I don't know if that's something that would interest you guys, how to replace a battery on these things, but there is oil in this pump. This is the water pump, and you can replace that, but it's not change it. There's a plug on the bottom. It's not due to be changed right now. We're just kind of trying to concentrate on the engine maintenance itself. Just check for any leaks. If you have any residual oil or anything, I've got a lot of oil on here because it was overfilled at one point and leaked out. But anyway, make sure, if you want this engine to last a long time, make sure to use non-ethanol gas. That is the only thing that ever goes in here, is gas that does not have ethanol in it. That will help your carburetor to last as long as you run a good cleaner in there periodically. I run the arch oil, then you will not have any fuel problems that are ethanol related. So I hope this was helpful for you guys. I know I get a lot of questions on the pressure washer. Again, if you guys want me to pull the battery out, if you want to see it, if you want me to fix that so that I just hit this button instead of pulling it, I'll do it. If not, nobody cares, then we'll just roll with it like this. But anyway, I appreciate everybody's viewership. If you want to see anything else on the pressure washer, if you want to see more maintenance, etc., etc., obviously I didn't do a video today because the wind's too high, but we've got a lot more detailing stuff to do. We've got a lot of maintenance to do on the Honda. If you're a Honda fan, I'm going to do the manual transmission fluid. We're going to do the oil change again. I'm going to show you guys how to clean out the valves on your direct injection engine. That will apply to any car. It's a big problem. The engineers, the automotive manufacturers know it. They put the direct injection engines out, got about a 1.5 to 2 miles a gallon over the port injection, but gosh, sometimes if some of these cars, especially BMWs and etc., that are having valve coking problems on the back of the intake valves, having to take the heads off and have them blasted with walnuts to remove that, that's not good. But I'm going to show you what you can do if you will do it, whether you got a Honda or any other direct injection car. That's not hard at all. How to keep the back of those valves clean since the engineers try to put one over on us. Anyway, guys, I appreciate everything everybody's doing. Comment, leave a like, a thumbs up, leave me a comment, and I will see you guys on the next video.